Hi, I'm Jessie Kilguss, and this is my dog Clue. And I've been asked by Leo to do the three questions with myself, Jessie Kilguss, so I'm going to do that now. And the first question seems to be about tell us a little bit about your background and how you wound up in NYC. Well, I grew up on a farm in Massachusetts, close to Providence, Rhode Island, and I originally came to New York in '96 to go to NYU to be an actor, which used to be my thing, used to be my art. Um, and so I lived here for a while then, and then I moved to London to go to graduate school to be an actor. And all this time I was also a singer and loved music and loved singing. But after drama school in England, I got this job doing a play that was written by Tom Waits and William Burroughs. And I was a big fan of Tom Waits at the time, still am. And Marianne Faithfull was the lead in the play, and she was one of my favorite singers at the time. And Mary Margaret O'Hara was also in it. And it got me thinking, this experience got me thinking that I should try writing music, that being an actor for the rest of my life might not necessarily be for me, even though I was having, I had some good jobs. I didn't like that I had to wait for somebody to give me a job and that my creativity depended on other people kind of giving me a chance to do something. And so I started to think, oh, music, what I like about music is that you have the agency to decide what you're going to perform, when you're going to perform, and you create what you're going to perform. So after that acting job, I moved back to New York from London and kind of slowly dropped out of acting completely, and then was introduced to some record producers and started recording an album of demos. And then I started to toy with writing my own songs and completely fell in love with that process, and still am in love with that process. And voila, here I am today, singer-songwritering. I just released my fifth album. I think it was my fifth album, it's around there somewhere, but it's called What Do Whales Dream About at Night. It's available on all the streaming platforms, but if you want to buy it, if you want me to get some money from it, you can get it on Bandcamp. Okay. So it's asking, Leo is asking, not it, if I'm a solo artist and pluses and minuses between working solo versus group. Well, yes, I'm a solo artist in the sense that I write the songs, the first, version of the songs, but I record and perform with a band so that when we go in the studio or perform live, it's lots of other people's input in there. But I'm the one kind of overseeing the vision and making sure it's in line with what I originally intended. And solo versus group, well, I love collaborating. And one of the things I loved about acting was working creatively with a group of people to kind of create this magic moment or this experience that's bigger than just everyday life. And I find that through music too. I love playing with other people. I sing in a few other bands because I just really love singing, and I like that sense of community I get through singing with other people. So, but I am part introvert, and the creative process of writing a song by myself really appeals to me. Okay, third question. Wow, I'm blowing through these, huh? Can you tell us about your new album? Okay, so my new album is called What Do Whales Dream About at Night? And the title track was inspired by this poem, Headphones, by the Ukrainian poet Serhiy Zhadan. And it's basically about this guy in the previous war in Ukraine who puts on his headphones and is walking around this city, kind of focusing on what he's hearing in the headphones and blocking out the horrible things he's seeing in front of him. And there was a line in the poem, think of whales in the ocean at night. And I just found that so evocative. And first of all, I really love whales. So it wasn't hard for me to think about whales in the ocean at night. It was kind of a joy. So that's where that song came from. And the album I made in Los Angeles, I was living out there during 2020 to 2021, maybe a little bit longer, during deep pandemic times. And I made this album in April 2021, right after everyone had had, first jab of the, what do you call it? You know what I mean? And it was finally okay to kind of spend time inside with people outside your bubble. So this was the first time anybody on the album was inside a recording studio making music with other people for the first time since the pandemic. So it was really kind of extra meaningful for me, especially, to be able to do this at that time. And I'm really happy with the album. I was one of the producers along with my bandmates out there, Brian Griffin, Why Not Jansveld, Naren Rao, and Adam Lassis. And my friend and colleague from New York, Nathan Schramm, added strings remotely. Yeah, I'm happy with it. You can check it out on all the platforms and on Bandcamp. And in terms of what's next for me, well, I sing in a bunch of other bands too. And two of them have record releases of their own coming up, so I'll be singing in those. I sing with my friend Jim Andralis. He's got a show on November 6th, record release at Mercury Lounge that I'll be singing in. And I sing in my friend's band Gramercy Arms, and we have a record release, I think, next February. But before that, I'm going back in the studio next Tuesday to record a cover by one of my favorite songwriters. And I'm hoping to kind of wrap it up quickly and get it out into the world within the next couple of months. And also, one of the things I was most looking forward to with releasing the album is kind of the experience of letting something go, of release. You create something, you share it with people, you let it go. And in doing that, for me anyway, it creates more mental space for whatever comes next. So I am looking forward to getting back to writing some new stuff. I'm also starting to co-write a little bit with my friend Dave Derby, whose band Gramercy Arms I sing in. And that's fun and interesting, and there are definitely benefits to co-writing, and there are benefits to, we're back to that question. So the benefits of co-writing that I'm finding, first of all, Dave is a very seasoned songwriter, and one of my favorite songwriters, and I feel like getting to write a couple songs with him, I'm kind of getting an idea of how he makes a song, and yeah, I feel like I'm learning through that. And also it's a give and take. One person gives an idea and the other kind of, you both have to contribute to it. So it's not just, you can't just be so rigid and tied to your own vision for where it's going. So that's a useful, interesting exercise. And I really like the couple of songs that we've come up with already. And then the great thing about writing on my own is that I can be tied to my own vision, and I can be the complete boss and decide how the song should be. Those are some things that are up next for me. I have a bunch of local shows too. I'm really excited to be performing again. I've kind of rediscovered the joy of performing live. So you can catch me live November 14th at Pete's Candy Store. And I'm also putting together this songwriter night / holiday party on November 30th at the Branded Saloon. And I've asked a bunch of my friends to each play a few songs. I'll be playing a few songs, as will Dave Derby, Scott Klass, Rembert Block, Charlie Nealand, and Spirit Child. I hope you can make one of these shows. And thank you so much, Leo, for asking me to do this. I hope it wasn't too boring.